Right now, the city of Prairie du Chien prepares for a visit from former President Donald Trump this weekend, what he plans to talk about at his upcoming rally. Plus, after their store is vandalized earlier this week, we check in with a State Street business, how they plan to move forward. And later, we hear from Muslim and Jewish voters on this year's election as both presidential candidates share their opinions on dealing with the war between Israel and Hamas. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Well, good evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll get to those stories in just a moment. But first, we begin in Monona, where the city is preparing to hold a public meeting on a proposed referendum. Our Braden Ross joins us live now from the Monona Public Library with what Monona residents need to know about it. Braden?
Hi, Eric. Yeah, Monona is joining a long list of cities here in Wisconsin that will ask taxpayers to approve a tax hike this November to pay for city expenses. And tonight, the mayor will have to explain to residents why she's asking for that at this public meeting that's set to start in just under half an hour here. But here's the breakdown, though, of what they're asking for. So the city of Monona is asking residents to approve a one-time $3 million property tax increase. If you're wondering how much that'll cost you, for the median Monona house valued at $435,000, it comes out to about $713 per year increase. Now, the city says that extra funding would go toward keeping city wages competitive and paying for growing operating costs thanks to inflation. Now, again, this public meeting is set to start here at 6:30 at the Monona Public Library, so you still have time to make it out. And if you can't make it out tonight, there's another public meeting, same time, same place, on October 23rd here at the Monona Public Library. But for now, reporting live in Monona, Braden Ross, News 3 Now.
All right, Braden, thank you. Situated in southwestern Wisconsin on the Mississippi River is Prairie du Chien, and it's where a suspected Venezuelan gang member is accused by police there of assaulting a woman and a child. Former President Donald Trump will head there on Saturday to highlight his immigration policy. News 3 Now's Kyle Pozorski is in Prairie du Chien ahead of this campaign stop.
Behind me is where former President Donald Trump will speak on Saturday at an event here in Prairie du Chien. We're interested to find out how this community is taking this event in such a polarizing political year. Preparations are already being made in the city of about 5,000, with a pro-Trump merchandise booth being set up Wednesday morning.
It's our way of paying our bills and helping to support a good candidate.
In downtown, the only sign of anything political is the Crawford County Republican Party. Larry Miller was on his way there.
I've been a Trump supporter from day one.
He says in his mind, PDC supports Trump.
As far as I drive around town and see stuff in the yards and everything else, it looks like this is Trump Nation here.
Mayor Dave Hemmer tells me while Trump won the county in the past two elections, there's no telling which way 2024 could go in this polarizing political climate.
Because there's people that support former President Trump and there's people that can't stand him, I guess. I'll put it nice like that.
Which is why a campaign visit of any party is welcome.
If a vice president came to town, we'd give her the same treatment that we're going to give former President Trump.
In Prairie du Chien, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. And the time the former president is expected to speak has now been updated to 2:30 on Saturday, but be flexible. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez will campaign for Vice President Kamala Harris in Madison on Friday. The campaign says it's part of its Reproductive Freedoms Bus Tour. Ocasio-Cortez is expected to speak about issues such as abortion rights and the conservative Project 2025 plan. The campaign has not yet announced an exact time or location. The Bronx-based Congresswoman seeking a fourth term now in the House. Polls show she is comfortably ahead in that race. U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin introducing a new bill that would make the Affordable Care Act's enhanced premium tax credits permanent. It's called the Health Care Affordability Act, and right now more than 230,000 Wisconsinites are receiving those tax credits, saving an average of $500 a month, and those credits are currently set to expire at the end of 2025. If this provision expires, more than 20 million Americans will see a sudden increase in their health insurance costs. An estimated 3 million Americans could lose their health insurance entirely.
If we don't renew this, that's going to be a very significant spike in prices for people. Not everyone would give up their insurance, but it would sure be far less affordable. And so we have to fight to keep this.
Senator Baldwin first voted to expand the premium tax credit in the American Rescue Plan Act. This expansion of premium tax credits marked the biggest improvement to the ACA since it became law over a decade ago. Sunshine and warmer temps set to return. Let's check your first warn forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington out on the weather patio. Alex?
Eric, it's peaceful out here on the patio. It's warm. It's comfortable warmth, I should say, as we move into these first few days of fall. The temperatures outside right now In Madison, we're at 74 degrees. Normal high for this time of year is about 70. So we're above normal again in southern Wisconsin. The humidity levels, they're very manageable out here. So it's just a perfect evening. There's barely a breath of wind, and that's part of our weather story as we plan the rest of the night tonight. We will be looking at the potential for some patchy fog developing, but not before a beautiful evening as skies continue to clear. I can attest to that. We had a few clouds out here earlier during the 4 and 5 o'clock newscasts, and those are few and far between now out on the patio as we get into the wee hours of the morning and then head towards daybreak Thursday. Temperatures getting down to about 50 with that patchy fog, especially in those low-lying areas that are susceptible to the fog. It's a perfect recipe, really. We have moisture left over from rain from the weekend, clear skies, calm winds. That is the recipe for a little bit of fog out there as we move into Thursday morning. Overnight lows in the upper 40s, right around 50 degrees. Then we're going to see those temperatures soar into the upper 70s. That fog will burn off quickly, staying warm all the way through Monday. Then we cool down for 2 days. So that's a first heads up that we have fall for 2 days next week, or at least fall-like temperatures. In Maine weather, we're going to track the latest on Helene, and if Helene's track still favors southern Wisconsin for rain.
All right, Alex, thank you. Right now, a woman is in custody after breaking into a home in Madison. It happened on South Livingston Street near Willie Street, and police say the suspect got into the home and cooked dinner for herself. When the homeowner got back, they found the suspect, called police. The suspect says she knew the other person and had permission to be in that home, but the homeowner denied it. The suspect now is in the Dane County Jail. We're checking in with one State Street business after a man allegedly damaged multiple properties early Monday morning. He's accused of vandalizing at least 6 stores and was arrested shortly after an officer found him with a brick in his hand. Our Merrill Hubbard on State Street tells us how one business is moving forward.
Metric Forest Studio is a new store on State Street, and they are pushing forward with their grand opening even after their storefront was vandalized early Monday morning.
It was very shocking, and at first I didn't have much of a response.
Metric Forest just surpassed 3 months of business at this location, but this week owner Forrest Vodish woke up to find one of the store's windows completely shattered.
Of course, I quickly came down here to see what was going on, and once I came down here, I learned that other businesses were attacked around Madison.
A man threw a brick through the first of the double-paned window.
The whole thing has to be replaced.
Forrest makes all of her jewelry by hand and says that she's always had a passion for creating things.
And I just love making things. I've been making things since I was, as long as I can remember. And then I love the idea of being in the heart of Madison.
It's taken over a decade to bring her business to this physical location so she can showcase and sell her art.
So I decided it was time for one of my other dreams, which was to open a space.
To celebrate this dream come true, she plans to hold an official grand opening, and she won't let the window incident throw a brick in this plan.
Right away after seeing it, I decided, I'm still going to have my party. I need to celebrate being here, and I need to be, proud of what I've created and not let something get in the way of being thankful.
The grand opening is open to the public on Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. Reporting on State Street, Merrill Hubbard, News 3 Now.
And a heads up for those planning to be in downtown Madison this weekend. A section of North Bassett will be blocked off in order to set up a tower crane from Friday through Sunday. The section of North Bassett between West Johnson and West Dayton will be closed. Findorf will be working between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. weather permitting, but the closure will remain in place for the duration of that work. When we come back, you may want to check your dog's food, a recall that pet owners need to know about. Plus, how the Department of Health and Human Services is helping the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provide better assistance to callers. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
We all share the same roads, but when an accident happens, we don't always share the same consequences. Gruber Law Offices has been winning for people injured in truck accidents for more than 35 years. One call, that's all.
There are over 21,000 Wisconsin veterans struggling to pay for rent and utilities.
Thank you for your service.
Many are also facing issues with their mental health.
Thank you for your service.
We must do more to help these heroes who have already sacrificed so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Words simply aren't enough.
I'm sorry.
Make a difference by donating to this critical Wisconsin survival safety net today.
My husband and I are going through IVF treatments now. It could be our only chance to have a family. But Donald Trump's plan could ban IVF in some states. My husband is in the military. He volunteered to serve. We are patriots and we go where he is assigned. What if we end up in a state where IVF is no longer legal? What will we do then?
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Meet Edwin Ramos. This illegal immigrant murdered 3 Americans. An MS-13 gang member. Ramos was arrested for a gun crime, but as DA, Kamala didn't prosecute him. Months later, Ramos murdered a man and his 2 sons in cold blood.
Are undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit a crime.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Madison residents will have big choices to make in November over the future of our schools.
We're talking about investing into our kids and into each other.
I'm breaking down the Madison school referendum questions, what they could mean for the district, and your tax bill. 3 for the People, Tuesday at 10.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Answers Pet Food Company is voluntarily withdrawing some of its beef and chicken dog food. It comes after samples reportedly tested positive for salmonella and listeria bacteria. The products in question are detailed and straight beef formulas and straight chicken formula. They were distributed across the U.S. in 4-pound bags. They were also sold online. Any of the lots in question should be thrown out or destroyed in a way that children, pets, and wildlife cannot get to it. You can find more information on the FDA website. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline callers will soon get more localized help. The Department of Health and Human Services says callers will be directed to help centers based on their physical location rather than their phone number's area code. Verizon and T-Mobile started rolling out geo-routing technology last week. AT&T is planning to begin that process in the coming months. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides free emotional support to people in mental health crises. It operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And coming up, we take a look at the latest total from our Coats for Kids campaign. Plus, our 3 for the People coverage continues its look at the impact the Israel-Hamas war is having on the election. We'll hear from both Jewish and Muslim voters, their views on the candidates. And will Hurricane Helene affect our weather up here at all? Alex returns his complete forecast after the break.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
Save big money with these hot deals at Menards. All prices after 11% rebate. Assorted packs of fall flower bulbs are just $2.49. All on food, only $9.99. 5 packs of paper, lawn and leaf bags are $1.99. Tide laundry detergent, only $7.99. Plus pumpkins are now available. Hurry, these hot deals won't last long. Sign up for Menards emails to get more hot deals plus the weekly flyer right to your inbox.
Save big money at Menards.
Their Bidenomics led to the highest inflation in 40 years, highest gas prices ever, skyrocketing interest rates, unaffordable housing, incomes down, unemployment rising, and a recession now headed our way. Yet Kamala Harris is clueless.
We are very proud of Bidenomics. Bidenomics is working.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Brian Stiles said he's proud of his extreme record. So why is he lying about it?
Stiles said he was proud to be part of a group pushing to gut Social Security and Medicare, that he proudly supports abortion bans. And Brian Stiles said he's proud to be backed by extremists pushing a total ban nationwide. Peter Barca's backed by police, firefighters, and unions because Peter puts Wisconsin first, no matter the party, and that's something to be proud of.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
In our final Three for the People story this week on the Israel-Hamas war, we examine the deeper context and impact the conflict has had on religious and cultural communities. Arman Rahman sat down with some representatives from the Jewish and Arab communities, asking what the war and the political cycle since October 7th has been like for them. Arman?
Eric, while not all Palestinians are Muslim and not all Israelis are Jewish, here at home, voters say the issue has automatically looped in religious communities for better or worse.
It's hard for a lot of Jewish people to want to talk about Israel in community.
Betsy Forrester is the rabbi at Beth Israel Center in Madison. She says Jews across the world feel tied to Israel historically. It's what can make talking about the conflict here tough.
And so most members of this congregation are looking for leadership that understands that and that won't throw Israel to the wind, but also won't throw the Palestinian cause to the wind, because there is a real narrative there. There is real trauma there.
On top of it all, Rabbi Betsy says after Hamas's attack on October 7th, she's experienced anti-Semitism for the first time in her life.
Hitting me really hard because it's all over now. And I do encounter it out in the community, and I encounter it even among faith colleagues.
According to the Anti-Defamation League, there was a 13% uptick in reported anti-Semitic incidents between 2022 and 2023. As a voter, Rabbi Betsy feels Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party have a very developed platform to combating hate.
What offends me are the asinine, feckless statements that one of the candidates makes, the former president makes, that Jews have to have a dual loyalty, that we have to be loyal to him.
This past year, the country also saw an uptick in anti-Islamic and anti-Arab incidents. Maggie Slavin is the operations manager with the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CARE, in Chicago.
Personally, I've been feeling really sad, really stressed. I feel that there's a constant, that the Muslim community, which I am a part of, is under this constant microscope.
Here in Madison, headlines included damage inside a Mediterranean restaurant on State Street and a 20-year-old man banned from the UW-Madison campus after allegedly barging into a classroom and threatening a group of sorority sisters, including a Saudi Arabian.
When Israel escalates an action or performs a significant airstrike in Gaza and now in Lebanon, our office gets more calls.
CARE revealed in their 2024 Civil Rights Report the highest number of reported complaints the organization's gotten in its 30-year history. But they say the Muslim community feels unsupported from both sides of the political aisle.
There's this abject dehumanization of, oh, these people are terrorists and they're human animals. And we see that from very right-wing portions of the country. But I think most people are at a place where they just don't know. And I think it is a deliberate dehumanization by omission.
And like the Palestinian student we spoke to yesterday, Slavin says she's heard from many Muslims and Arab Americans pledging not to vote if neither candidate calls for an arms embargo against Israel.
Interesting perspectives. Arman, thank you. Dry weather through the rest of the week, but that could change during the weekend, right, Alex?
Sure could. We're keeping a very close eye on Helene with the dry weather sticking around through at least Friday. Mild temperatures are going to stick around as well, upper 70s. Latest indications, though, first to let you know that Helene's effects likely are going to stay mostly south of Wisconsin. And then we've got a cold front that we're keeping an eye on as well. We were mentioning this cold front the past couple of days. That's going to bring us a taste of fall-like weather for at least 2 days next week. All part of the 3 things you need to get out of the forecast. Let's fast forward to the weekend. If we do see a shower, that likely is going to be a stray shower south towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Highs up around 78 degrees on Saturday Looks like the effects of Helene will then scoot off towards the south and east as we go into Sunday. Skies may turn mostly sunny by the time we get into the afternoon with a repeat high temperature of 78 degrees. And that is a common temperature over the next couple of days. We'll do 78 tomorrow for high temperature, 77 Friday, 78 tied Saturday and Sunday, and then a 79 on Monday as some even warmer and drier get pulled out ahead of a cold front from the west. Not expecting much in the way of water with this cold front. It will likely come through for the most part dry, but those temperatures will cool off Tuesday going on into Wednesday before we warm right back up again by the end of next week. Right now it's 74 degrees outside. I was just out on the patio. This weather is wonderful. Temperatures in the low to mid 70s, light winds, the humidity is low. The sun is outside right now, at least for a little bit longer. As we plan the rest of your evening tonight, we'll go down to about 60 when you join us again here at 10 o'clock with clearing skies overnight tonight. Again, 74 in Madison, 75 in Janesville. If you're tuning in Mineral Point, how about 72, 73 in Camp Douglas, and 72 in Viroqua. So beautiful evening once again across all of southern Wisconsin. Latest updates from the National Hurricane Center are increasing the intensity of Hurricane Helene, potentially rapidly intensifying from a Category 1. And as it moves over very lukewarm ocean waters in the eastern Gulf, it will likely absolutely explode in intensity over the course of the next 24 hours, impacting the panhandle of Florida, potentially making landfall as a Category 4 storm, which is a catastrophic storm. All thoughts from the First Warn Weather Team, our friends in Florida. The effects from Helene bringing a few clouds as we go into Saturday afternoon. But those clouds, again, few and far between. The shower chance, few and far between, eyeing up maybe Janesville over towards Watertown and Elkhorn for an isolated sprinkle or shower. Then as we move forward into Monday, maybe a shower outside chance of a shower out ahead of a cold front that comes through later Monday going on into Tuesday. That's going to usher in cooler temperatures, 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. That's normal though for this time of year. We're just not used to it because our temperatures have been so warm. And well, if you want warm weather, it's coming right back in the forecast at the end of the 10-day.
Alex, thank you. Our Coats for Kids campaign gets a big boost. News 3 Now teaming up with Clinky Cleaners, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County, and Magic 98 to try and collect 5,000 coats, and nearly 250 were donated to Clinky Cleaners just since our last count. So that brings the latest tally to 1,407. You have until October 5th to donate. Just take any new or gently used coats, hats, mittens, snow pants, and other winter outerwear to any area Clinky Cleaners location. And if you don't have a winter coat, please consider buying a coat off the Coats for Kids Amazon wish list. Look for the link at channel3000.com/coats4kids.
And coming up in sports, it's a trip back in time for this week's Bucky's Beast of the Week. Our take on the GOAT of Badger running backs is next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Eric Hovde is a multimillionaire California bank CEO. But when it comes to our healthcare, his plans aren't so rich. Hovde says he wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
We have to try to defund every aspect of Obamacare,
costing 200,000 Wisconsin families their healthcare. And Hovde supported policies that will cut Social Security and Medicare and raise the Social Security retirement age. A millionaire lifestyle works great for Hovde, but his plans on healthcare are a disaster for us. Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
Fry Construction has done it again. For the 5th year, we've won the prestigious Best of Madison Award, and it's all thanks to you. To celebrate, we're offering 29% off our exclusive Absolute Gutter System with any full roof or siding project. Our gutters are custom fabricated on-site for a perfect, seamless fit that's engineered to excel. Don't just beautify your home, beautify it with the experts you trust. Call Fry Construction today and let us show you why we're the best of Madison.
As a prosecutor, I never asked a victim or a witness, are you a Republican or a Democrat? The only thing I ever asked them, are you okay? And that's the kind of president we need right now. Someone who cares about you and is not putting themselves first. I intend to be a president for all Americans and focus on investing right now in you, the American people. And we can chart a new way forward. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
When it comes to winning internet, TDS is in a league of our own. Just like the Green Bay Packers. Wisconsin born and bred, we live, work, play, hire, and get involved in the communities we serve. Like delivering the green and gold standard of internet. 100% fiber internet that's as fast, powerful, and reliable as your other hometown favorite, the Packers. TDS, internet that's built Wisconsin strong.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's Blue Ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what banana bread does and bring everyone to the table.
Last week, we celebrated a cash money sack man.
And a time-honored end of the third quarter tradition with a little twist.
But for this week's Bucky's Beast, we're going old school. Why is Wisconsin called RBU? Look no further than the godfather himself, Ron Dane. Oh, hey, Barry.
Now, you might have heard of the Dane train or the Great Dane. He is built like a bowl of oatmeal without enough milk. Chunky and hard to put down.
It's Ron Dane. The big guy can travel. It's touchdown.
History lesson for you youngins. The Dane train chugged along for 7,125 yards, the most in college football history.
There it is. Ron Dane has become the NCAA's all-time career rushing leader.
Figure it out, NCAA.
It has been 25 years since he won a Heisman, but Big 3-3 still looks like he can give you a carry on 4th and goal with your season on the line.
Ron was a grown man's worst nightmare. A refrigerator on ice skates, in the words of the late, great Keith Jackson.
Whoa, Nelly!
Whoa, Nelly!
Now, he doesn't need any more accolades.
But here's one more for the GOAT. Congrats, Ron Dane. You're our Beast of the Week. Fun to look back at that old footage of Ron Dane. Well, speaking of Wisconsin Huddle, you can check out this week's Beast of the Week on Friday. C.J. Williams stopped by to talk all things USC. Show starts, of course, at 6:30 right here on News 3.
I don't know about the oatmeal analogy. He was a dude, man. He was tough. Quick final check of the forecast.
Yeah, folks are probably wondering, will Helene impact southern Wisconsin's weekend weather right now? It looks like it will largely stay to the south. Maybe a passing shower or two near the Wisconsin-Illinois border, but temperatures staying warm all the way through Monday.
All right, Alex, thanks. Thanks for joining us at 6. Have a great evening.